So, every time you jump, you may notice time moves forward, and your credits go down because you're paying crew or mortgages, or what have you. We can jump again, because at the moment there's nothing interesting here for us. Back to the map. Well, I probably should have seen that. Alright, we're gonna make our way back around. No planets you can land on. It's great. You notice our radioactive point for fuel is also going down. That's how many jumps we have. Right now it's 4. You refill that by landing on a planet. There's none in here either. We do know there's one here. The New Greenland. And yeah, there it goes back up. So, a lot of this is going to the map, picking a place to jump to, and jumping. But there is also combat. I'm sure we'll get to that later also. Oh, and with that map information, you also get trading also. So, if you want to get into that, this really helps. Let's land in New Austria. New Austria is a rugged mountain world, full of snow-capped peaks and valleys so deep and so steep that they rarely see sunlight. The few settlements that have been built here were developed for mining sapphires and rubies. The sapphires found in New Austria range from blue to yellow to black to clear in color, and are used both for industrial abrasives and for jewelry. For centuries, the locals have been trying to find a deposit of diamonds, which would sell for higher prices than sapphires, and local folklore revolves around the prosperity that would come to this world if diamonds were ever discovered. Should buy some more medical supplies. That's low. Buy all. The spaceport is nothing but a couple of landing pads built on the outskirts of one of the larger mining villages, high up on a mountain ridge to allow easy access for starships. A few roads lead down from there to the village, where you can trade for local goods or get food from the miners' cafeteria. By the time you have walked to the center of the town, several people have already tried to sell you large diamonds that you strongly suspect are just clear sapphires. I don't know. Maybe large sapphires are very valuable. It doesn't say here. Maybe heavy metals are luxury goods. But that is as much as we want to spend in New Austria. No inhabited planets detected. So, I'm remembering again. Blue and orange means there are places to land on. Orange might mean it's restricted, but we'll have to wait for that. Wait and see. And gray, as we've already found out, means no planets. Very sad. Oh well. Let's move on. New Switzerland. Looks like these are all Republic planets also. New Switzerland is a world where tectonic activity has left deeply folded and fractured mountains across much of the planet's surface. In many places, the topsoil is too thin and rocky to support farming, but many people have settled here anyway, drawn to the beauty of the mountains. A few ski resorts operate in the mountains, and in recent years a gemstone mining industry has begun to develop as well. Wonder if they found any giant sapphires. Medical supplies won't fetch very much. Go to the spaceport. The spaceport is in a valley, surrounded by mountains so high that their tops are often lost in the clouds. From the port town, tourists can ride a cog railway to the tops of several of the tallest mountains nearby. Most of the buildings in town are wood-framed, and some are old-fashioned, half-timber buildings, with whitewashed plaster packed in between the beams. It is not a technologically advanced world, but it is a very beautiful place. And here comes our destination. New China. Along the journey, you learn that the family you are transporting are named the Hendersons, and that they are moving to New China mostly because they hope the urban setting will be better for their kids than New Greenland, where there were hardly any children at all, and their village had only a few thousand people in it. The grandmother, Olivia, has also been chattering non-stop about how excited she is about being on a world where she can actually go sunbathing. I've gotten much too old for snowshoeing, she says. You say goodbye to them and wish them well, and as agreed, they pay you 40,000 credits. You are already well on your way towards paying down your mortgage. As James leaves the ship, he says, again, if you're okay with continuing to give me a ride, just meet me in the spaceport. In the very early days of hyperspace travel, most settlers chose to put down roots within a few jumps of Earth, because until more fuel depots were built, colonies farther out would seldom be visited by cargo ships. As a result, a lot of effort was put into terraforming and developing worlds that would have been passed over by most colonists today. New China is one such world, and it is now overpopulated and poor enough that maintaining the terraforming equipment and climate requires almost a third of the planetary government's tax income. Nice and smoggy also. How wonderful. The medical's still a bit low. That's nice though. Give us a profit indicator. It doesn't take you long to find James in the New China spaceport. He's already got a small group of people with him, a middle-aged couple and a teenage boy. "Hi there, Captain Widget," says James. "Interested in carrying some tourists to Earth?" "Yes." "Great," he says. "This is Chuck and Sarah and their son Carl. Let's help them carry their luggage to your ship." As you begin walking back, slightly ahead of them, James whispers to you, "Tourists are always a good way to make money. They're on vacation, so they don't mind paying a bit extra. But no point in your cargo space going to waste. So take a good look at the job board and see if there are any delivery missions we can run at the same time." Oh boy. I may have to sell those supplies. If you notice, all of these orange markers are available missions here. Our current mission to the Sol system for Earth with the vacationers in blue. I'm going to click on all these. So there's something going up to Castor that we might be able to do. I'll try and find that. Hold on. Alright, I just click on them. This family of 2 factory workers is hoping to find work on Geminis in the Castor system, and they will pay you 23,000 credits to take them there. Yes. I don't have to sell anything. The new port here was built several centuries ago, when the grand but impractical spaceport built by the original settlers had deteriorated to the point where it was no longer usable. This port is much simpler by comparison. Just a ring of landing pads of various sizes around a large central building with 10 levels of warehouse space accessible by freight elevator. There are always locals hanging around the port. Some of them mere children who are trying to find a cheap ride off planet. Oh, there's also an outfitter. A few more things too, but I am more interested in the local map right now. Terraforming can change many things, but it cannot fix low gravity. Geyser was settled in the very first wave of space colonization, before refueling depots were available anywhere but Earth itself. So the only systems that could maintain trade with Earth were those that were only a few jumps away. Today, most of the industry centers around oil drilling and manufacturing, and the remaining workers are those who are too poor to leave. Oh. In recent years, Geyser's economy has not been able to support repairs to the century-old terraforming equipment. And as a result, the climate has become increasingly arid, and it is difficult to grow food crops here. I can imagine. No. Job board. Both of our cargo and passengers are full. Let's see the spaceport. This spaceport was built 7 or 8 centuries ago, and its once grand architecture has now fallen into decay. A ring of hangars with arched cement ceilings surrounds a central complex of warehouse towers, whose upper stories once held food courts and luxury hotel rooms. But now, many of the hangars have collapsed, and the ones that remain have rugged plastic netting bolted to the ceilings to protect ships from falling fragments of cement. Only one of the food courts remains active, and although a few of the hotel rooms are still used, the marble fixtures and tile floors that were once so polished and clean are now chipped and cracked and worn down. Buy more map data. And let's go visit real life home.